Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Verona Chamber of Commerce Roundtable. I'm Anthony Lombardi, owner of Anthony Roberts Salon. My next guest is Andrew Mensch. He's the branch manager of Prudential New Jersey Properties, located at 538 Bloomfield Avenue, right here in Verona. And it's great to have you. How you doing today, Andrew?
Doing well.
Good to have you. Couple questions. The real estate market. It's been in the news for the past couple of years. It was doing great. It was doing really great, and then it tanked for a little bit. Tell me about the real estate market now. How are we doing right now?
Well, I'm happy to report today that the market's actually getting better.
Good.
Anthony, the average prices for example, in Verona were up 11% last year.
Wow.
From 2012 to 13.
Wow.
Those numbers are also in similar numbers in Montclair, in the Caldwells, West Orange, all the towns that are around here. So we're very encouraged by how things are going.
Wow. So it's on the rise.
Yes.
All right. So now, what kind of opportunities will this bring for both the buyer and the seller if you're looking to do either one right now?
Well, we actually have a shortage of inventory now. Inventory is down about 20% from what it was last year. So going back to your economics 101 class of supply and demand, we have a low supply combined with low interest rates, which are still under 5%. And a pent-up demand of people who haven't moved because the economy hasn't been that good lately. Now that it's getting better, people are moving because they have to move, not because their kids are getting older and the small condo's not big enough for them, right. Things like that. And we've got a great opportunity for sellers. For example, just in Verona, a third of the houses that sold in Verona last year sold at or above asking price.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Yeah. Now, do you think the reason the reason that the supply is low is people were afraid to sell their house because they didn't think they were going to get something that their neighbor would have gotten a couple of years ago? Do you think people were holding on to it because they didn't think the market was doing as well as they thought it should be doing?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. People want to wait for the market to come back. Really, if you bought your house, say from 2004, 2005 on, that's where you were actually negative in your numbers. Right. But even if you bought your house 20 or 30 years ago, people feel that their numbers are down the last couple of years and they want it to come back. But now that they're seeing it come back, we're finding people coming back in the market. It's very seasonal. Spring usually starts. We always say it's after the Super Bowls when it starts. But this year, because of the snow, we've had a slow start to the year. And actually, you're saying the sellers have a great opportunity because there's very little competition. So right. It is a great time.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think the snow obviously is hurting all the. I even see it in my business. There's always people still need to get their hair done, but people are staying home. People aren't coming out. People are staying in the house. But if a homeowner is thinking of selling, what are some of the steps that homeowner can take? Let's say they want to put their house up in the spring when theoretically the market gets better, the weather gets nicer, more people out. So here we are, it's still winter time. If you're thinking of putting your house on the market, what are some of the things that a seller could think about doing now to get themselves ready for selling their house?
Well, one of the things you can do is declutter your house, take out all the knickknacks and clean the place up a little bit. Prudential New Jersey Properties can come in and we can help you, tell you what needs to be cleaned up, neutralize paint colors, take wallpaper off, maybe change a carpet, expose the wood floors that people like to see. Your house is the most expensive thing that you own. For most people, it is.
Of course, yeah.
And we like to counsel sellers on what they can do to maximize their dollars. And it's not always a large investment. We wouldn't recommend, for example, putting a new kitchen in to sell your house, but small things like painting your front door, making sure the house looks all clean.
From the outside.
From the outside and from the inside, because it's like,
we were saying it before we came on the air, we were talking, and you said you never get a first chance to make a second chance to make a first impression.
Absolutely.
And that's true. Like, I remember when me and my wife were buying our house, there were some houses, and I actually used your office for, I bought a condo, sold a condo, and bought the home that I currently live in, all through Prudential New Jersey Properties. So like I was saying to you before, I've had nothing but great luck with your office, and Patty, like I said, Patty Bishop was who I worked with.
She's great.
And and there were some houses that Patty would take us to see, me and my wife, when we were buying it. It was just like you'd pull up, and I'd be just like, just forget it. I just knew by pulling up that I didn't want to go into that house.
But even before that, now the National Association of Realtors survey, their latest survey of buyers, says that 90% of the people are starting to look at their house on the internet. And if the pictures aren't good, and if it's not well presented on the internet, then people won't even call us to look at the house, which is why we use professional photographers to do our photography and present your houses in the best way.
But the internet's for some reason, I like to look. I'm not selling my house, but I like to go on in what's that, NJMLS? One of those MLS sites. I like to go on that, and I just like to see what's in the area, and I'll look at the pictures, and I'll look at some houses, and you'll see like the front of a house, and it'll look great. And then you like see, like, I know that house doesn't look anything like that. So I think the internet and the pictures could be deceiving a little bit.
Well, we try to keep it
right. No,
real.
I'm just saying, but like I think there's nothing better than going out with an actual, realtor and going to the house and seeing it firsthand with your own two eyes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But still, as I was saying, is that the real estate world has changed, and people are looking through the internet. That's where they're looking first. They're on their iPads and on their laptops looking, and that's the first impression they get. Not always the way it used to be, where the first impression was walking through the door.
Or those magazines, those home magazines.
Right.
That was pretty much all you had to go by.
Sure.
All right. So that's fantastic. Now, career-wise, what would if somebody's looking to get into real estate as a career, what would you tell them?
Well, it's a very rewarding career. It's very nice that you're your own boss. You're running your business within our business, and you can make as much of it as you want, and it works very well for people who are is either second income or works as first income. But I would say that you've got to be technically savvy. You've got to be a people person. I know that's kind of a funny term, but
you have to. I mean, people are, like you said, this is going to be the biggest purchase most people will ever make in their life.
Right.
They have to trust you.
Absolutely.
They have to trust that real estate agent. They have to know that person is not just out there to make a quick buck.
But most important, if you're thinking about this as a career, you've got to make sure you're getting the training that you need. Not only do you have your license, but you've got to take your license course that you got to take. I always think about the license course as kind of like when you learn how to drive, and you've gotten your license and you know how to operate a vehicle. It doesn't mean you know how to drive a car.
Right.
You haven't driven in snow, you haven't driven in ice, and you haven't been, just like in real estate, you haven't been through multiple offers. You haven't been in different situations. And the training that we give at Prudential New Jersey Properties, not only in our office, but in our corporate office, really prepares the agent for a lifelong career that's successful.
Great. Great. Well, anything you want to tell the people? Anything else you want to tell the people before we close this
Well,
out?
I like to. I've been in the business for 20 years, and I'm recent. I'm new at Prudential New Jersey Properties. The Janet family's been here for years. It's a terrific company. We've got a great combination of a small family business, but we've got the exposure that we have on the internet through the Prudential company, and it's. It's great having a job where I wake up every day and I like where I'm going.
I feel the same way, because like I said, being in Verona and having my business in Verona, it doesn't feel like work. When you can get up and go to work and do something you love, it doesn't feel like work anymore.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I mean, I could sit here and speak firsthand about Prudential New Jersey Properties and say that they were great for me. I've used them multiple times, and you guys got a great proven track record, and I look forward to a continued. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not going to be using you guys again anytime soon. But for anybody that I know that's looking, you'll be the first people that come into my mind, and I will be sure to shoot people down to you guys.
But you raise a point. You say you won't be calling us until you're going to sell your house. We can be a great source for you, for anybody out there who's looking to improve their house. They want to know what's got what's good return on investment. If you're planning taxes, if you're planning estate planning, if you're thinking about buying a house anywhere else in the country, we can give information on that. So really, you can use us as a source, just like you would use an accountant or an attorney all through your life, not just when you need someone specifically to buy or sell your house.
I didn't know that. See, now I learned something today. So thank you.
Good. All right.
So thank you, Andrew. It was great having you.
Good to be here.
I'll see you soon, and we'll be back soon with our next guest. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much.